Hey guys, DSnooze753 here, and Merry Christmas. And for Christmas, I'm going to give you a special on the power differences between comic book characters and anime characters. Whenever you put an anime character against a comic book character in a verse debate, the comic book character usually wins. But why is that? Why are comic book characters so overpowered? Well, three reasons. The first reason is due to the genre. Most Western comic book superheroes are in the urban fantasy genre. This means that it's mostly a realistic world. Most superheroes like Spider Man, Hulk, Batman, Superman, they exist in a mostly realistic world, except for with a few fantasy elements here or there. Because of this makes power scaling and power measuring so much easier. Take, for example, Spider-Man stopping the train in the Spider-Man movie. I forgot which one. But the reason why that scene works is because in real life, we know how fast trains are. We know how fast trains move. We know how strong Spider-Man has to be to stop it. You can actually get out a calculator and do the math yourself and how strong Spider-Man must be. This is a problem with many anime and manga because most anime and manga exist in parallel realities, in alternate realities. Like Naruto, One Piece, Attack on Titan, Bleach. Well, Bleach is technically our world, but most of the time they're in the Soul Society. When they perform feats, it's harder to measure because ultimately we're dealing with a different reality than ours, which makes power scaling much harder. Like, for example, when Ichigo fought Ukiura in Wake Mundo, and he said that with this power, I can potentially destroy all of Wake Mundo. Here's the problem with that. I don't know how big Wake Mundo is. Nobody knows how big Wake Mundo is. Is it the size of a country? Is it like a regular desert? Is it like a whole infinite dimension? Is it the size of a planet? And I'm sure all you right now are going in the comments saying, texting in, you're theorizing how big Wake Mundo is, but nobody knows officially. There's no official answer to the exact size. The writer of Bleach, he knows that there's no science behind this, which is why he keeps a lot of things vague. In anime and manga, a lot of things are kept vague as to how things actually work. They don't explain it that well. Even if they do, it's still not enough to get good counts. Which leads me to my second point. Most Western superheroes have multiple writers. It's a common trope for when a writer is done with a franchise they don't want to work on anymore, they'll give it to another guy. And that other guy will take over and they'll write and maybe they'll up the power levels a bit. They think, you know what, Superman, he's not strong enough. That like or better yet, they'll even they'll lower the power levels. Pre-crisis Superman was insane. But when post crisis showed up, you know what? Superman's a little too OP. Let's lower him down a bit. And they lowered down Superman's powers. And the same thing with Marvel. Marvel characters' power levels go up and down because they keep getting new writers. And writers constantly fighting over each other. Writers are constantly fighting over how strong a character should be. In fact, there's some comics and TV shows that have multiple writers working at it on the same time. This is why some things can come across as inconsistent. Now, in anime, they actually do a I think in anime they do a better job at power escalation. Everybody starts off weak and then will slowly get more powers over time. It's one consistent narrative. I believe from a writing perspective, having one writer is objectively superior, which is why a lot of anime and manga they handle power scaling, they have a power escalation way better. But that's I'm getting off topic then. And the third reason is because of multiple incarnations and reboots. comic book characters and cartoon characters, Western characters are constantly being rebooted and reimagined. Ninja Turtles keep getting reboots. Superman keeps getting reboots. Spider-Man keeps getting reboots. There's multiple incarnations. And whenever a comic is adapted into a film or cartoon or anything of the sort, it's not always 100% accurate to the source material. We like to change things up a little bit. We give our writers more creative freedom to work on a product. Now, sometimes this can end horribly, like She-Hulk, but other times it can work amazingly, like the original MCU films in the beginning. They were great. This can have its pros and cons, right, everyone? In fact, one thing that is commonly used in Western media is multiverses. Characters going to other timelines and realities, meeting other versions of themselves. So we have, like, you know how writers will fight over the power levels? Well, we'll have one version of a character meet another version of a character, and they have different power levels, and they'll fight each other. And we see who's the best between those two. This also gives more opportunity to blow things up. By introducing other universes and realities, you introduce more opportunities to blow that stuff up. So the characters have opportunities to make even more crazy feats. This is why comic book characters are so overpowered, because there's so many different versions of them. And they live in a mostly realistic world, so it's easy to scale and measure things. And writers are constantly fighting over the power levels. Now, in anime and manga, alternate universes, like when I say alternate universes, I mean parallel versions, are rarely used. Rarely do you see anime or manga that deals with parallel versions of the same character. The only one I can think of at the moment is Dragon Ball. If you know any other anime that deals with parallel versions of characters, tell me, because I cannot think of any at the time. I cannot think of any that come to mind aside from Dragon Ball and the Time Travel arc. Yeah, those are the three main reasons why comic book characters are so overpowered compared to their Eastern rivals. What do you guys think? Do you disagree? If you have something to say, please say it in the comment section. I'm open for debate. I'm open for discussion. Leave a like, subscribe, and Merry Christmas.